Things about my entrepreneurship journey. My entrepreneurship journey started in 2014. I had this burning desire to do something on e-learning. And I was discussing with my friend. I said, where do we start from? We started the design initially until we found out about Share Livewire, and we applied for the grant. By the end of 2014, Share Livewire was the first business, first company that gave us a Livewire by that grant that they gave to us. And they really believed in our vision, and that gave us a lot of encouragement. So 2015, we were set with the pilot phase of the project. 2015, we launched acapart.com as at that time, a learning platform. But we had to generate content. So it means that returns will not have to come immediately. So between 2015, 2016 was the period for generation of content to ensure that our platform was standard. And that itself took a whole lot of time because at that time I wasn't earning. People that were working with me were not earning. We just focused on how we can create engaging content at that time. So 2016, we launched into the market and started engaging schools. But funds was low because the grant I got was finished. And we just had little stipend from other sources that were coming in. So 2016, 2017, we started engaging schools to use the platform. Returns were coming via subscription and ad on the platform. But it was not as expected because normally you design a business plan and in your mind you think that everything will just run smoothly like that based on your business plan. But we had challenges because of low internet penetration and the fact that the children as at that time, our target audience, were not really active online. So we had to look at what we have at that time. As at 2017, I even had to take a paid job and allow my team to work. So what the resources that was coming from the paid job was used to do marketing and all of that for the platform itself, but the profit was still low. So 2018, we had to reevaluate our business plan and know that, fine, we thought internet was everywhere, but we just realized that our target audience are not really that active the way we think they are active. So 2018, we started developing offline resources, typically offline resources. That was from 2018 down to 2019. As at 2019, what happened again? We launched our offline resource. I can remember the first school that adopted our offline resource gave us 120,000 for that resource. It was really encouraging for us. And 2019 saw massive sales for the online resource, individual sales and school sales also. But there was also a progression because at the end of the day, COVID-19 came in at the end of 2019. While people were talking about e-learning, for most schools, it was something that was strange. Even schools that we have engaged before didn't really know, as they started calling us and asking for our resources. So we started engaging individual parents 2019 through 2020 for the resource itself. And the terms of going from one school to another, because it's an offline platform, we had to do manual installation because of the size of the work. As at 2021 or 2020 per se, we had to think about further ways of easing distribution so that we can get across to more customers at the end of the day. But most importantly, between 2019 and 2018, when we were developing this content, we had to delve into app development for schools, data management, because we have to still be in business. Since our major channel of business is not bringing the returns, something else has to bring returns for us as at that time. So 2019, 2020, even we had to go into capacity building and training also, organizing seminars for schools, little returns were coming in. But the big catch for us was in 2021 after COVID-19. We got the contract to actually do training for federal unity colleges across the 6 geopolitical zone. So we're in Lagos, we're in Abuja, we're in Port Harcourt, we're in Kano, we're all over across the 6 geopolitical zones at that time. So you see, all through this phase of my entrepreneurship journey, we had to reevaluate our business model over and over again until this all-new Acapart Math card that we have just submitted for the top 10 category for Share Livewire Innovation Award. So my journey as an entrepreneur has been something that has been really, really, really challenging. But at some point in time, what kept me were a few things that were learned at the training session. One of the things I think for Neokecci was taking our business as a baby. I think we got that from Neokecci. And we also see that that business itself is a seed. Like all of us are here today, we have business ideas, want to do great things, and that's why we have been shortlisted. But we have to understand that our business is a seed that has to be nurtured. And this is likened to the typical story of a bamboo tree. If you, most of us here know the story of a bamboo tree that spent 4 years with its root under the ground. Then the fifth year, it grows to 90 feet. That's how a typical case for us when it comes to Akapat's solution as a business. Initially, it was not growing like we expected it to grow. So for us, also as an entrepreneur, most of us are here today bubbling with ideas. That same part, most likely, there's a lack phase for every business. And from that lack phase, we have to persevere. And for us to be able to persevere, we have to treat our business with a passionate attitude, more like we have to have a vision attitude about our business. If you don't see your business as a vision, then when the storm comes, you will pack it up because there are always alternatives. All these times, there were options for me to get a job somewhere else outside that environment. But what I did to keep me fit in my business was to ensure that I get a time. You discover that processes are not coming. What are you going to do? So for you to be able to sustain it, it means that it has to be a vision for you. For most of us, it might be cosmetic or whatever we have prepared our mind to do at the end of the day, we have to stick to it irrespective of the odds. And that is what kept us as a company, Akapa Solutions Limited. Also, aside that particular, sticking to our vision, the vision of our business, we have to look at the part of reevaluating our business model. That itself is very critical. Most of us have come with great ideas and idealistic ideas on paper. They look very nice. But when you get into the real world, you discover that the demand for the customer from the customer is quite different. Or your projections also are quite different. So with that kind of shock, if you don't have the tenacity to go back and challenge what you thought was right or the business model that you had before, automatically you keep pushing in the wrong direction, even pushing very hard, but you will not be getting results. So that was one of the things that also kept us. Then passion and dedication. I think the great philosopher said something that if we must lead the orchestra, we should turn our back at the crowd. That is one thing that also kept us. We had to turn our back on what anybody was saying because we had option. I have a chemical engineering degree. I have a master's in chemical engineering. I could have just left everything and said, fine, the way it's done, let me get the job. Because the pressure we are coming, just get a normal everyday job and live your normal life, and you don't have to go through all this. So as an entrepreneur, those are the kind of things that will still come, where you have to be looking at your even your peers, somebody working somewhere, earning so much at the end of the day. Your business is not giving you anything at the end of the day. What are you going to do to quit the business and join the train at the end of the day? But we didn't do that. It was persistence, it was dedication, and also turning our back at the crowd, not considering what people were saying at the end of the day. That kept us pushing, pushing, pushing. One other factor that kept us pushing again was the fact that we had to diversify. That's one thing we have to look at as entrepreneurs too. Because you might have a particular business idea, there are a whole lot of things around that singular business idea. So while it is taking time for the main idea to develop, you can look at other areas around it and see how you can actually get something from it. That's how we delved into database management for schools, because that at that time they were more receptive towards that, and also went for the training that gave us the contract to run training for federal unity colleges across the 6 geopolitical zones. So this is my experience so far, my journey so far as an entrepreneur. Today we are here today, not like we're where we want to be. We still want to go a lot much more higher. But I would say so far, with all the challenges and everything, and the progress that we have made, I'm happy that I choose this decision. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's quite a journey. And it's quite remarkable that the journey has taken a couple of years now to get to this point. And, just like you said, if you didn't believe in the idea, probably you would have called it quits by now. But then somebody will be wondering, can there really be a genuine point in this journey when you can see that this idea is not working, this vision is not working? Let me just pack it up and get into something else. I mean, in your case, you have been quite consistent, persistent, you've been very dogged. But can there be a point in the journey when somebody can, when an entrepreneur can say, this whole thing is not just working out. I think it's just better I pack up and get into another journey in life.
Of course. We had that point also. And that was even 2017 that I got that job. We had that point also, where even people that you are working with leaves. Your major partner that was working with you finally leaves you because he has to protect himself at the end of the day. At that point, you're just alone. So it brings me back to the fact that your journey as an entrepreneur, people will come and go. You have a team today, tomorrow the person is gone to fend for himself. So there's always that point. We had that point where you feel like, fine, I think I'm not doing this again. Let me just pack up. But like I said initially, is to develop a visionary approach towards your business, understanding that you're solving a problem and you have a target audience. And that itself will keep you while you're at your low times. The fact that you know that this is going to benefit somebody is not just about the money. That somehow you're creating a change, and that's your value proposition. That itself kept us going as a company. So we knew what we wanted. We knew that the problem is there. We also see that even as we go to places and we get rejections, there was one school that we went to at the end of the day for our offline resource. You know that this school didn't pay us. We actually installed our resource in that school. The person that was paid to actually pay us left the school at the end of the day with our money and everything. And that itself was one discouraging experience, but we still really had to hang on, knowing that at the end of the day, we had a solution. And we looked at the fact that that solution must get to our target audience. And that was what kept us.
Wow, that's quite interesting. And it's really also remarkable that when you started the journey, probably some of the things you are getting into now, you didn't see them at the beginning. But like you said, you kept working on the business model, and finally here you are now. So I believe that someone here in this audience is also getting this message and will definitely be comforted by the fact that if a particular model is not working, it's always worth looking at it a second time. We have actually been emphasizing on that point that no business model is cast on stone. Once you test it in the marketplace and from the feedback from the marketplace, you can now come back again and look at it. That we have been emphasizing since Monday. So I'm happy that you have also pointed that out. And so at this point, probably before I come in with maybe a few more questions, I'd like to find out from the audience here. Yeah. So you have heard him. Is there anybody that wants to ask a question? Because like you have all seen, they have also gone through this road. So anyone want to ask a question? Would you want to come closer for him to see your face? Okay.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
How were you able to get your app listed on Google, Google Play Store and iOS, Apple App Store? How were you able to get your app listed?
I didn't get you. Maybe.
How were you able to get your software? How were you able to get it listed on, like, so that everybody can have access to it on Apple and Play Store?
Sir, please, can you sir, please, maybe you can reiterate it. It's clearer when you talk.
Okay, let me rephrase the question. So he's saying that at the moment you now have an app, and he's asking at the point where you got the app on the Google Play Store and the Apple Store, that how were you able to get into those places to be able to for people to be able to have access to your app?
That's why we talked about conventional business idea. The size of our app is massive, and the target audience don't even have the money for data. So people will always naturally think about Apple Play Store and Google Play Store. That's why we're looking at ways for distribution. If you have an app of 3.5 gig, how do you expect a single school child to go to online and start downloading an app of 3.5 gig? It doesn't just add up because of the robustness of our content. So we had to think about ways of distribution, not the conventional way. An average tech person will think about Apple Play Store, Google Play Store, and all of that. But if you have a child that is 17 at home or 16 in SS1, he goes to Apple Play Store, Google Play Store, use his data to download 3.5 gig app. It doesn't. We didn't actually go that route. The route that we went to was going directly to the target audience to ensure that we have access to them directly because of the size of the app. Then in terms of internet connectivity, internet penetration, that's expensive. If you put it online at the end of the hard years, that's as we had to reevaluate our business model. The conventional thing that anybody does is when you develop an app, is Google Play Store, is Apple Play Store. But with the size of our work, we knew that going that way will limit our chances, and our children will not be able, the student will not be able to access our work properly. Thank you.
Okay, so from what you're saying, since most of your major target markets are mostly schools, so you're saying that you go directly to those schools and install the app directly on the system.
Of course, we go directly to the schools and install the app, and that's why the Akapat Mass card is out. The essence of the Akapat Mass art card is to ease distribution. So most of the times, based on our business model, when you even go to schools, they want to see physical things. You understand? People want to see things that are tangible. I'm paying for this thing. What does it look like? So irrespective of what you are coming with all the work into that particular resources, you'll be shocked that people just feel like what to look for ways to ease distribution, not just the conventional way. If you are downloading an app of 45 MB, it's something that you can do. Almost everybody can do that. But having an app of 3.5 gig, as it were, even after we have compressed already, we had to just find a way of easing distribution. So the marketing strategy wasn't the regular marketing strategy that people are used to.
Okay, since you have to install the app directly on the systems of those target schools, do you consider that is could it be a limitation on one hand, since you must be the one to actually go install this, could it be a limitation? So what I'm asking is this. So your market are the schools. At some point in time, will there be a time when probably you can also target individual students? And if at that point, this mode of distribution now, would it be a handicap along that line?
That's why we have the Akapat Maths card. What we submitted for Top 10 Innovation Award is the Maths card.
Okay.
So that's ease of distribution. You could take it almost anywhere. It will be at the bookshops. It will be almost everywhere at the end of the day. We understood the limitation that we had from going from one school to another. And besides, when we started, it wasn't like schools were receptive to getting resources online. So to put something, you start running ad and doing Apple Play Store, Google Play Store, you don't know who is watching. Most of them don't go there to download most of those things. So we need what we actually did was we had to teach them that fine, this thing is possible. So it's just like you making your customer know that they need a product. Somewhere, they don't even know they need it at the end of the day. So it means that we have to go to them. And that's how we adopted that particular approach. So we really have distributions all over Nigeria. That's what it means.
Okay, that's interesting. Any other question? Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Akapat and Matt. My question is, the world is actually a changing world, and then we're all moving with the current technological trend. And then you discover that you go to some schools and they are not like in line with the current technology. You might even be surprised that some schools are still using this chalkboard. They're not even upgraded to the extent of even using whiteboard marker. And then they don't even have computers. So when you have schools like that, and then you want to go and tell them about an app that will help the students and all that, even though that is something that will be of benefit to the students. How will you be able to manage that kind of school? And especially, you know that those kind of schools come with resistance, and they will be like, we don't even have systems and all that. So, and you're coming to tell us about a particular app. Okay, thank you.
Okay. For every business, there's what we call your marketplace, and there's what we call also your target market. The overall marketplace is different from your target market. You can have 200,000 schools in Nigeria. Fine. On paper, that's your market as it. You know, you can't sell for all the 200 schools because as at that time, not all of them have all the resources. So one of the things about we as entrepreneurs is that it will get to a time where all schools will key into it. But for now, we have to initiate a process. It's just like telecom. When telecom came to Nigeria, you understand the penetration of telecom in Nigeria. It was a luxury for most people at that time, but today it's a necessity for almost everybody. So while we are progressing from one phase to another, we understand the challenge that some schools will not be able to use our resource because they don't have the technology at this point in time. But we know that a time will come where they will have the technology. So we are already thinking ahead, and that's why we are doing what we are doing. So it will get to that time where those schools that don't have those things now see those schools that have those things. They want to get those things to at the end of the day. So right now, we are actually a pace setter. But we know that in the shortest possible time, with even a new government coming, you'll be shocked what will happen to our educational system at the end of the day. So we are not just preparing for now, we're also preparing for the future. And we are creating the future with what we have. Thank you.
Okay, let me just mention that if at any point before we are done, if the time runs out, please just kindly log in again with that link so that we can wrap up. So now, from what you have just said now, thinking ahead, being ahead of the curve, and someone is here also working on a business that may require that kind of approach. And with the experience you have had, you are able to navigate the market now, even though you are ahead of the curve. But for someone who is here, who is just starting, probably the idea might be like yours that has to do with a little futuristic approach. So, what would be your advice to such a person, in that kind of situation? I don't know if you got the question.
For me, it's how will I put it? That, like you said when we started, we don't have one business model that fits it all. Whoever is going into tech today should understand that the best way to prove the validity of your concept is in the marketplace, not something that you have on paper. So the world is a big place and the market is a big place. There are no restrictions and there are no rules. It's for you to be bold enough to put whatever you have there in the market and follow the strategy that you have. So I will not say there's one perfect way or there's a clear-cut way of doing everything. Because at the end of the day, we keep seeing new businesses emerging in the same environment, challenging the status quo. You understand? And that is what everybody or does every entrepreneur should do. Challenge the status quo by navigating your own terrain at the end of the day. But the most important thing, because your business is your vision and you are passionate about it, you will always just find a way of ensuring that you get to your target audience. So what I would say is test every model, but the proof of whatever you have done at the end of the day is in the marketplace and not in the lab. Thank you.
Wow, that's a very important line there. Test every business model, but what is workable is only what the customer says is workable. I like that so much. Is there any other person I want to ask a question? Anybody that wants question, either directly on this or maybe an advice you want to get from him regarding your own business. Anybody? Yes. Please come closer.
Please, my question is a bit off. I understand that when you started, it was announcing and it was stressed all along. since it was a new concept we were launching to the market. So please, how were you able to balance it with life, like family, relationship, etc.? How possible was it? As in, what were the modalities you put in place?
Please, can I hear clearly again from you?
Okay, so you started this business. The idea was novel. You needed to break into the market, and it has taken you a long time. So at the onset, when you started, he's asking, how were you able to balance pushing for this new concept with life itself? But I think you mentioned something like that, the persistence and all of that. So, but you can still go ahead.
Okay, I think that was why I quoted that. I said, he that must lead the orchestra must turn his back on the crowd. And what it means is that some area of the personal life will suffer, because somehow, one way or the other, you're not joining the conventional train. If you are joining the conventional train, fine. So for the fact that you're not joining the conventional train, expect that some people might think you're even crazy. As what's wrong with this person? Like me that did chemical engineering in school, why not dust your engineering degree and look for a job somewhere? You understand? So you're going to have that, all of that, but you must shut your ears, and you must avoid the trap of comparison, because that's always the problem. When you start looking at your peers that have gone ahead, you are tempted to think that, fine, this person is now working somewhere, this person has that, this person is in UK, this person is in Canada. That is why developing a visionary approach, no matter what you're doing as a business, is important, because you know that there's a target that you have. That gives you the staying power to actually look at what you're doing and not think about what people are saying. So, but when you start looking at people who have gone ahead, you start even comparing yourself with people who are working already, because you can't enjoy the same thing that they enjoy. For somebody who earns a lot more than you is working, at that point in time, he has the privilege of doing so much. As a business person, if you have $1 million, you don't think that you can't say you have money. But somebody who is a worker might have $1 million and feel comfortable, fine, I have $1 million, because you know that thing has to go back into the business because of what you want to do at the end of the day. So what business actually taught me at the end of the day was to understand that the idea of wealth was totally different for somebody who works and somebody who is an entrepreneur. For somebody who works, $10 million is big money. For entrepreneur, you can't call $10 million big money, because you want to break even, you want to distribute. At the end of the day, you want to be able to do things to make sure that your product is visible at the end of the day. So primarily, just understand that some area of your life will suffer. That's just the truth. There are no two ways about it. And you must have to shut your ears and turn your back at the crowd and keep moving until you see result. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You've been very wonderful. Thank you. Your journey is an inspiring journey, especially considering that it has taken you time, you have been on it, and you have not given up. And lo and behold, it has gotten you to the stage where those who didn't know what you were doing before are now getting to know. And of course, that is why, of course, you're also talking to us today. And we are supporting you. We are pushing and sharing the link for people to vote. And we know that God being on your side, you will come out top. So we wish you all the best. We thank you for your time. Is there any other person I want to say any other thing before we load off? Any other person? Okay, you want to say something? Okay.
Thank you very much. My question is your app is tech inclined and also educationally inclined. So I want to know, people like us that are entrepreneurs are starting up, did you study education? Are you a graduate of any course educationally inclined or tech inclined, or you have a member of team that will able to work around it for?
Okay, my basic background is chemical engineering, but I have a strong interest for tech. But I do have a team. I didn't just start like that. I have a team, and up to now we still work with that same team at the end of the day. So the thing is, there are no limitations for whatever you want to do. Just like Jack Ma has a background in English language, and today he has one of the biggest brands. So it's about what you want to do and knowing the team or who you need to be able to work with at the end of the day. And once you get that right, is to push on.
Thank you so much, Blessing Idido. God bless you. We'll keep pushing.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. God be with you.
Bye, everyone.
All right. Bless you. Come closer. I'm making this.
Good afternoon, sir.
I will see you.